Hello, welcome back to The Road to Episode 9, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars Episode 9 in December 2019. Breaking news! Just in. The internet and Twitter has been ablaze with the new news that just came out, and it's still the 24th of May, which is the day that Solo, a Star Wars story, came out, and I've already filmed my 2 reviews for that, spoiler-free and spoiler-filled, which I thought would go up before this video because this is a completely spur-of-the-moment thing where I thought I'd jump in and give you my thoughts on this breaking news, which is that there will be a Boba Fett Star Wars story standalone film directed by James Mangold, who most recently did Logan, which is, for my money, one of the best superhero/comic book movies ever made. Now, this isn't official, it hasn't been confirmed by Disney yet, but multiple sites started kind of announcing this, saying that it was in development. I think Hollywood Reporter and Entertainment Weekly have stepped in and have noted that they were the first people to break the news that the Han Solo movie was going to be made. And the Boba Fett movie was something that was going to happen actually this year. It was going to come out this week, I think. And so we had Josh Trank, who did Chronicle and Fantastic Four, and he was going to do the Boba Fett movie. He was developing it, and then they let him go quietly. Kind of pushed him under the rug a little bit there, and he hasn't been heard from since, as far as I'm aware. I don't know anything else that he's been doing, and that's a whole other story. But the Boba Fett movie seemed dead in the water. Now it seems it's been resurrected with James Mangold stepping into the director's chair. Now, first things first, I've seen a lot of this on Twitter because everyone's talking about it, and everyone's saying, wow, another white dude. And, I don't want to get into too much of a debate here, but I don't see too much of an issue with that. Now, the thing is, I'm all for, equality and all that kind of stuff, and seeing women integrated more into that. But I think there comes a point where you should just look for the best person for the job, and James Mangold is a fantastic director. And I understand the angle of, the opportunities need to be there as well. So, I'm kind of mixed on it. I'm not against people saying that, but, it's just one of those things. I think Kathy Kennedy, do you not think she would love to have a woman come in and direct a Star Wars film? Do you think that it's never going to happen? It's going to happen. But it needs to be the right fit. It needs to be the right movie. It needs to be the right director. The sensibilities need to match up with what they're going for. Although I guess you could argue that they didn't get the sensibilities right when they hired, Lord and Miller for the Solo movie, because they shit-canned them 4.5 months after they started shooting. But anyway, that's just one of the things that popped up, and I was just a bit surprised to see it as like that's the focal point. Wow, another white dude. I mean, like he's just this random white guy who's kind of come in and gone like, hey, I'm going to do a Star Wars movie because I'm a guy. It's like, well, he's a pretty, established director who's done some great stuff. And I'm excited if this turns out to be true and confirmed and all that kind of stuff. But I have to also say about Boba Fett, never got it. He looks cool as shit. That's about it. What did he ever do in the movies, I think that the expanded universe definitely was one of the key reasons that Boba Fett became such a popular character, because in Empire, he looks cool, doesn't do much, Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett, where? Oh, he's dead, it's kind of a joke. So I never really quite understood the Boba Fett love. Like, people go nuts for him, and it's like, well, never really did much to begin with. But again, I guess it's that expanded universe and the books and even video games and things like that that expanded the character, so on and so forth. So I don't know where you take a Boba Fett movie, but I read something really interesting. And at this point of me posting this video, I won't have already talked about or posted my Solo review. So, spoilers, not for the film. I loved Solo. I was really surprised by it, and you'll hear all about that in the next couple of videos. But someone brought up a really interesting idea that this Boba Fett movie could be a part of the Solo movie and the Kenobi film that's been rumored, which I haven't even talked about yet. They could form a kind of loose trilogy revolving around like a certain series of events or certain characters. And I thought that was a really interesting idea, and I would love to see that. I'd love to see the Boba Fett movie maybe cross paths with young Han Solo or something like that. I don't know. Just because I was so bowled over by the Solo movie, I'd love to see more of Alden Ehrenreich's take on the character. But, I feel like it could really lead into some interesting territory of these kind of lighter, lightweight Star Wars films that don't have too much kind of big-time stakes. Galaxy, is at threat kind of thing. and more kind of pulpy adventures, which is what I kind of felt like Solo was. So I'm excited about this actually, even though I'm not too, yes, Boba Fett, I think there is a lot of potential there, and it could be really interesting, something different, of a movie based around a villain. Maybe they might try and humanize him, which is possible. I mean, his backstory is quite tragic, actually. Would they bring back, Daniel Logan, perhaps? That would be interesting. At which point it would have to take place right around the time of maybe Solo, where he's more of a, in his late 20s, something like that, perhaps, early 30s, before he becomes Tamora Morrison, who played, of course, Jango Fett, and then, of course, he'd look exactly the same because he's a clone. Anyway. Quick brief thoughts on it. I'm excited about the idea, the prospect. Again, it isn't confirmed yet, but really cool. I really hope it happens. And again, after Solo, I'm kind of really looking forward to the future of Star Wars films. It's a lot of fun right now. After seeing Solo and just seeing a Star Wars movie that's done just as a fun adventure, and there isn't, again, I'm just repeating myself, and you'll hear me talking about it more in the reviews for Solo, but I've kind of turned the corner there where I'm thinking this is kind of a good thing. I think Solo is kind of a really crucial film to the Star Wars series, in that it's that first film to say these don't always need to be so heavy, and that's okay, and they don't need to be great masterpieces, and that's okay. I'm fine with not every Star Wars film being the Star Wars film, or potentially the next best one. It doesn't need to try and compete with the other films in that sense. So, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and I hope the news is true, because I think Mangold is a fantastic director. I think Logan was just unbelievable, so I think the film will be in safe hands. Anyway, that's it for now. Leave your thoughts down below, what you think of this news, the prospects of it, and so on, and maybe we'll talk about the Kenobi movie in another video. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.